I wanted to apologize and say sorry for my absence. It was unexpected, it was unexplained, it was really unacceptable, and I do apologize. There was a good reason behind it, but I'm back now. No more expected absences. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Meat Medic podcast. Now, this episode is a little bit different, and this is really fundamentally an apology episode. I am very, very sorry to all of my listeners, all of my viewers out there for my unexplained absence over the last few months. I have been pretty much completely absent from the podcast, from YouTube, from social media, all platforms as well, for the last maybe 2.5 months. It was unexpected, it was unplanned, and I do apologize for that. I had some personal things going on. I apologize if you can hear any rain in the background. Very uncharacteristic of Brisbane here in Australia. But it's, decided to pretty much just pour with rain for the last couple of days. Hopefully we don't get any flooding. It does flood here in Brisbane, and those floods have been pretty terrible over the last couple of years. So fingers crossed it doesn't flood, although we are pretty safe where we are anyway. Anyway, I'm getting slightly off topic. My absence has been unexplained. Nothing terrible has been happening, just some personal things that have been going on in my life, unfortunately, which I'm not at liberty to really talk about at the moment, perhaps one day. Nothing major, nothing bad, just something I can't really talk about right now. That was for the kind of the first month or so, and then the last maybe 5-6 weeks, we've actually been in the process of moving house. As you can see, the background is a little bit different to my previous background. It's still a work in progress back there, but basically we are in our new house. Previous episodes, I've spoken about building a house. We are now finally in this new house, which is amazing. 2 years after we moved out and knocked it down, we are now in. So that's been quite a bit of stress, but also just very manageable stress. But it's a huge relief now being back in the house, in the new house, and so on. Unfortunately, though, that came with a lot of work, and it might sound silly and naive to say we didn't appreciate how much work it was going to be moving with 4 kids. And maybe that is very naive. I'm not really talking about the actual logistics of moving, packing up the house and so on. That's a bit of a hassle, but it's not that bad. No, really what I'm talking about is actually to save a lot of money, and we probably saved about $100,000, actually pretty insane amount of money to save. We actually put in basically just IKEA cabinets, IKEA furniture throughout the house. All the kitchen and stuff was done by the builders and so on, but like all the wardrobes in the bedrooms and so on. We actually saved about $100,000 compared to going with the custom joinery, which is obviously enormous. And I don't have that kind of money to be spending on custom joinery. Unfortunately, though, that comes with effort. We've got to put those together, of course, with IKEA, which wasn't that much of a hassle, but it was things like the builders put in the bulkheads at the wrong size. Unfortunately, they just were like about 2 centimeters too low, despite giving them fairly clear instructions and even over kind of estimating. So they had even more leeway. They put it even way below where they should have gone. So I had to rip out all those bulkheads and basically reinstall them. We were left with some weird odd places in certain things like the kitchen pantry. So we've had to kind of do some framing, DIY framing and so on to put those in, which is just good fun. I like doing DIY work, and it's nice doing some manual work and so on. But yes, it's been quite a bit of hassle, quite a bit of time. There's been a lot to do around the house. You don't appreciate how much there is to do with these things until you actually do move into a new house. So that's been taking up quite a lot of my time. I am finally back to doing the podcast, which is a big relief for me because I really was trying to get back to it for a while, but there was just so much that just absolutely had to be done. It's been absolutely crazy. However, the podcast is going to be changing, and the Meat Medic is going to be changing. Now, I'm still going to be the Meat Medic. I have toyed with the idea of changing, but I think it's quite catchy. I like it. I still eat a 95+% meat diet, so I really don't see any need to change that name. I think it's quite catchy. Let me know in the comments, obviously on YouTube. Hey, get in touch if you don't like the name or you think I should change it to something else, but I think it's pretty good. So the Meat Medic is going to be staying for the time being, but it is going to be changing. Number one that's going to be changing is my website. So themeatmedic.com is going to be staying as that domain name. That's not going to change, but the content is going to be changing. At the moment, I have been using Shopify as my platform for selling my guides and so on. And I appreciate everyone that has been buying those guides off me and downloading all those free guides. I'm going to be changing. The platform is going to be changing from Shopify to Podia, which is a community platform for community subscriptions, community content, community chats, and also courses. I'm finally getting around to making those health courses. Now, they're not yet live, but I have about 20 courses already written. I just need to do the filming as part of that to get those out there. So that is going to be done very, very soon. Now, the community is a big thing for me, and I've been building my meat-based tribe on Facebook. That is going to be staying. I'm not going to get rid of that, but I have been obviously a little bit absent from that the last few months, but I'm not planning on actually going back to that terribly often. I am going to be putting most of my effort into just talking to people on my community on my website at themeatmedic.com. That is going to have various levels of access, from the community essentials, which is going to be the free tier, through to bronze, silver, and gold, of course. Gold being the highest, bronze being the lowest. Bronze is going to give access to all of those community and essentials, the free tier, plus a private podcast. Now, this is going to be priced very keenly. I want it to be available to pretty much anyone who wants to sign up for it. But having the private podcast will allow me to just put more time and effort into the Meat Medic, spreading that brand, spreading that awareness of health through diet and nutrition and exercise and lifestyle changes. So the private podcast is going to be weekly initially. Hopefully, I'm hoping to increase that as time goes on. They're going to be relatively short episodes, around 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes or so, a little bit shorter than the Meat Medic podcast, which is still going to remain free, but this private podcast will be charged. That will be available again through my website at themeatmedic.com. That will be the bronze tier. The silver tier is very excitingly going to include a live Q&A. Now, this is a huge thing for me because I haven't done this before, and I'm kind of throwing myself out there. It's fine, I think, when you people like Ken Berry, who's got 3 million or plus subscribers now, doing these live Q&As, because he's got millions of people that are literally going to turn up for it. I don't. I have about 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, which I'm extremely grateful for, by the way. Every single one of you guys that hits that subscribe button, it really, really does help me out. I do appreciate every single one of you. Basically, that is going to be a work in progress. It's going to be a risk. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge. I'm hoping some people sign up for that silver package. If you're wanting a weekly Q&A with me, live Q&A on anything basically health related or otherwise, whatever you guys want to chat about, it's perfectly fine. Of course, mainly it's going to be health. That is going to be available through my website at themeatmedic.com. Now, if one person signs up, if nobody signs up, hey, I guess I'm just talking to myself for an hour, which will be boring. So please do sign up. If one person signs up, that person's going to get a heck of a deal, because they're going to get me for an hour every single week for basically like 40 Australian dollars, a month, which is what, 30 maybe US dollars at the time of recording this. So please do sign up for that. And of course, the gold tier is going to include free access, that's right, to all, of course, paid through the gold tier, but otherwise free access to all of my health courses, existing and upcoming, for the life of that subscription. I think that's a pretty huge deal. It's a pretty good bargain. As I said, there's about 20 courses going live relatively soon over the next few months, and there's going to be more added all the time. And of course, the more people that sign up, the more courses I can make, because the more time off I can take. Speaking of time off, you might be wondering, well, how am I doing all of this? If I've got all this other stuff going on in my life, am I not just going to be absent again? Well, no, I'm not hoping to be absent, of course. I'm not planning any absences other than a couple of holidays coming up soon, but their content will be made in advance, so there won't be any real gaps there. Otherwise, no, basically, I've taken a day off. And this is huge. I've actually taken a day off, which is enormous. I've been trying desperately to take a day off pretty much for the last 10 years. So this is absolutely huge for me. This is just the biggest thing that I could possibly do. And this is really, really huge. And thankfully, there's been a change of circumstances that's allowed me to do that and really put the time and effort that I've always wanted to into doing this kind of thing. Now, the Meat Medic has been going for the last kind of 18 months or so, but really prior to that, I've been doing my YouTube channel for about, 4 years now, I think. And it was pretty pitiful and pathetic for many of those years until I really started the Meat Medic. And of course, many of you guys have started watching since then. But for the 1 or 2 subscribers I had at the start, I do appreciate you guys sticking around. But really, it's a passion of mine for a very long time about sharing this kind of content. That time off is now allowing me to do so. So the more people that subscribe, the more likes I get, the more shares I get on videos, the more people that subscribe to my community platforms, the more time off I can take, the more I can share this message, which is absolutely huge for me. So I'm very much appreciative of that. Lots more to come on the Meat Medic podcast and the meatmedic.com. I forgot to mention another podcast that I'm going to be launching imminently as well, called 5 Minute Fix. And the idea behind this podcast is not everybody has time to listen to an hour's worth of talking, interviews, very long videos, research articles, that kind of thing. Some people want to just listen to that quick, punchy, just 5 minutes, give me the details, give me the key points, give me the key things that I need to listen to. And so that's the idea of this 5 minute fix, is to just give you those key points, give you those key punchy parts, and none of the waffle, none of the kind of filler, which I try not to do anyway, but just none of the really super massive detail that realistically not that many people really actually need anyway. Incidentally, 5 Minute Fix is also the title of my upcoming book, which is a work in progress. I've been working on that really for the last year or so. I've got pretty much about 600 to 700 pages actually pretty much written already, which is kind of insane because it's just all the other content I've been working on over the couple of years, putting it all together. I've got to do some editing down. It's probably not going to be 600 pages long, but that is a work in progress. I'm hoping to get that out maybe in the next 6 months or so, which will be, again, really big for me. Other books available, of course. I'm constantly just working on stuff now. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I think I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Once again, I wanted to apologize and say sorry for my absence. It was unexpected, it was unexplained, it was really unacceptable, and I do apologize. There was a good reason behind it, but I'm back now. No more expected absences, no more unexpected absences, of course, are going to hopefully come as well. Lots more to come on the Meat Medic and Meat Medic podcast, meatmedic.com. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.